Hi! In this unit, we're going to start building apps that have multiple screens. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to create navbars that we will use to navigate between screens in the next lesson. Let's get started. Think for a second about any apps you use daily. Do any of them only include one screen? My guess is that it would be very difficult for you to think of an app that uses only one screen. Even game apps, where most of the activity happens on one screen, include a welcome screen, maybe a screen giving instructions, and possibly a scoreboard screen. Let's take a look at some screens used in the Facebook app. Here are 4 of many screens used in this app. How do users navigate between them? They use navbars. In these screens, a top and bottom navbar exist on all screens to help the user easily navigate to where they want to go. Let's see how we can add these into our own apps. To begin creating our navbar, we'll need to section out the main view container, which encompasses the entire screen, into containers for the main content and the navbar buttons. We'll call these content container and navbar container. We can do this by creating these 2 view components inside our main view container, which takes up the entire screen. We have the view component labeled content container at the top, and the navbar container below. These 2 components together make up the main view component. We're then going to need to size the components accordingly. We can do this in our style sheet. Here, we've made the content container 5/6 the entire height of the screen, and the navbar the remaining 1/6. Now we need to add in the buttons. We'll add them directly inside the navbar view component, and we'll use them to switch between screens. We'll look at the functionality of this in the next lesson, but for now, we want to pay attention to the layout. Our first button is composed of a text component wrapped inside a touchable highlight component. This button has the title, Welcome. The second button is created the exact same way and is labeled Info. Let's take a look at this in the editor. You'll see we have the content container, which, if we scroll down to the style, is light blue and takes up 5/6 of the screen. We then, at the bottom, have our navbar container. It's very important to see that the 2 views components are lined up with one another. That navbar container is set to dark blue and takes up 1/6 of the screen. Now it's your turn to develop navbar layouts.